I had some leave scheduled, and though my original plans are scrapped, I figured I'd talk about something else that interests me. So last time I talked about existentialism, but today I'm going to talk about something a little less dense, specifically decision making in board games. So I know that a lot of people are starting to play board games more, and a lot of new players are trying to get into the hobby. And it's a very dense hobby to get into. And one stumbling block for new players is that they haven't developed what I call a library of gaming heuristics. Those of us who've been playing board games for decades do have that. And so if you're an avid board gamer, I'm really not going to say much here that's of interest or new to you. But for new players, I'm hoping to give you what I think is my most basic heuristic. So, okay, what is a heuristic? It's a rule of thumb. They're not inherently good or bad, and they aren't guaranteed to get you the best or most optimal answer. But they'll get you to an answer. And that's often good enough, especially for board games, because they help prevent paralysis by overanalysis. Remember that games are supposed to be fun. And so when you sit down to play a game, try and have fun and don't get overwhelmed by all of the decisions being thrown at you. A good turn right now is better than the perfect turn after all of your friends have left. So, my most basic heuristic is called action economy or action efficiency. This states, very basically, it is generally the right choice to take the option that gives you the most actions. This isn't always true. Sometimes a single powerful action will be better than multiple worse actions. But if you're struggling to decide what to do, taking more actions is almost always a good decision compared to taking fewer. So, what exactly is action economy in practice? Let's take chess, a game most people are passingly familiar with. The general play pattern in chess is each turn, each player moves one piece. There's one rule that lets you get around this restriction. It's called castling. Castling lets you move two pieces, your king and your rook, instead of a single piece. That's two actions to your opponent's one. That's action economy at the most basic of levels. The second half of action economy is restricting your opponent's ability to take the actions that they want. Let's use chess again for a good example. It's called discovered check, also sometimes called revealed check. That's when you move one of your pieces, and by moving that piece, a piece that was previously obstructing now threatens your opponent's king. You've advanced your position, and your opponent cannot respond to that new threat you have moved. They have to respond to the revealed check. You've advanced your position, and you've limited your opponent's action efficiency. Pretty much every instance of action economy can be thought of in one of these two ways: gaining efficiency through taking more actions than your opponent, like castling, or restricting your opponent's action economy by forcing them to respond to your actions, like revealed check. So, now that you know what they are, how can you sort of learn to apply them? To learn how to apply the castling variant of action economy, or maximizing your own actions, I recommend cooperative games like Pandemic and Forbidden Desert. They are variants on the same theme. Your team is working together to stop various disasters while trying to collect certain tokens to take to a spot to turn in for victory. That's a very abstract, non-thematic way of describing those games. But the key here is that each player at the start takes a role. In that role, you're more efficient at certain actions or can do things no other player can. You're going to very quickly learn how to maximize your action economy, or you'll lose. The revealed check version of action economy is a bit more advanced and most applicable when you are directly head-to-head with an opponent. Miniature war games like Warhammer, worker placement games like Agricola, economic engine games like Power Grid or Catan, and card games like Magic the Gathering will have loads of chances to develop your board state and demand a response. The similar play pattern for all of those games is that in each round, players can only take so many actions, and the order that an action is taken changes its relative value. Again, this is roughly abstractly. And you gain action economy by forcing your opponent to use their limited resources to respond to a move that you made, or by threatening to control key resources or presenting some other sort of threat or victory condition, or sometimes by simply taking an action that denies your opponent the ability to take the most efficient action they could. So for gamers who have played a long time, again, this is probably nothing new, but maybe this concept will help you with new players when you're trying to explain to them how to go about deciding what to do on their turn. For new players who are trying to get into board games, I hope that this gives you a sort of starting rule of thumb that you can fall back on when you're stuck. You're looking at a board and you have no idea what the right thing to do is. Fall back on this and just look for the way that you can do the most in a given turn. Thanks again for listening and have a good day.